To reduce the number of people in teenage years under the age of 20 not in employment or in American or German style extended education up to the age of 18 without having jobs in the foothold of having employment. The required number to be reduced is 101 million against the previous 5 million in the previous parties of not being able to explain why the monies are so different. But what to form is a new type of government, which is not a new type of government. It's just central London giving out the money to the whole of the United Kingdom. I suggest that whenever a party's in the whip, they do not have sole control of the ministry's money. The Department of Work and Pensions doesn't get messed around by stupid politicians trying to make themselves something to do for the next 4 years. So, like the previous politicians kept saying, we want to stay in power of the whip for more than 4 years. Well, that's not tenable. So what I'm suggesting is every year it's voted at local elections, and every 4 years it's voted at national elections, and we allow certain monies available to every party. So if you have a Conservative that's unemployed that wants to go and get a job, they don't have to pretend to be a Labourite to get the job, or even a socialist or a militant that's determined not to be in employment anyhow. So I say, new enterprise allowance is given to every single party's control. And whenever somebody turns up at the job centre, they can say, what party are you with? I would prefer not to say thank you. Okay, you want to apply for new enterprise allowance? Okay, you fit the criteria. Here's the money. Here's the extension on your benefits whilst you return back to work. We'll keep it going like disabled living allowance. We'll pay it for 37 weeks on top of your money that you're getting for your new enterprise allowance. Plus we'll give you Conservative youth employment scheme and older people to return to work scheme. You don't have to join a bricklayer's course, or any stonewall training is not necessary. So what we have is a politician in central government saying how bad the previous people have been, and this is what we all have to listen to, like a load of tripe. And the problems in Ukraine have got nothing to do with the new policy now, apart from we pledged to help in the EU. So that stands as it is. We're not changing any funding on that, unless we feel that we can't afford to, but we can if we are doing something else, but we're not going to make money out of it, are we? Because that would be evil. So the support is diplomatic, and we didn't really want to put any foot soldiers onto the soils of Ukraine either. But the politics to do with who's control of youth training scheme, well, that was originally the Conservatives, but the Labour Party have borrowed that for a while, and if there is any new policies coming out with teens under the age of 20, I am committed to make sure that every single party does their bit on this. I will make sure that they are upholding a benefit system to allow people to gain employment, which is going to be above the minimum wage allowance, and to consider that they need support in the difficulties of expenses of living allowance. We will give them extra money on certain things that are non-profit they will only be able to take money which is due to them on a reduced cap on energy system. So that could be done as well. But I think that some very, very important person in the future will have a lot of infrastructure things to offer, and I'll make sure that I get to speak to that person individually every day with paper and pen. Railways, buses, trucks, cars, motorcycles, everything. And I'll put a tax levy on the environment to make sure carbon catchment is absolutely fine to the hilt, because it's ruining the environment. Any cow that has more than 200 head of herd is allowed a special recompensation on their taxation for allowing extra animals to fly into the atmosphere. I don't want you to think that politicians are always taking a piss, but it's a strange world we're living in, isn't it? So what we're going to do is, even though the parties are in control with the whip, they're not going to be able to stop somebody else with less than 250 workers from gaining funding, and they're not going to stop a new enterprise allowance from happening if it's not around anymore. Lots of things have gone wrong from this previous government. Lots of things gone wrong with Tories government. Lots of things have gone wild with Liberal Democrats, and not to mention the monster raving loony party. I think you politicians are out of touch and you've never worked a day in your life. Over.